Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thanks for watching today. I wanted to review something I've been so excited about. I've been absolutely deliriously excited when I found out that Colourpop was coming out with their own face products, foundation, powders, pressed and loose, as well as something we've had for a while, which is their no filter concealer. So today that's what I'm going to do. And I thought, I do have a bit of a cold, so you might hear a little here and there, but I thought I would start by putting my hair back and then just getting straight into it. So I hope you're doing well. This may look a little crazy, but there we go. All right, so first of all, this is what it looks like. This is the no filter concealer. I got it in Fair 25. Now, this was kind of like a roll of the dice. I wasn't sure whether, I don't know, maybe. We'll see. This is Fair 25. They have 42 shades, and that's $12. Comes in a glass bottle with a pump. We'll see how that goes. Another thing that I have been loving is loose powder, loose setting powder. And this is their no filter setting powder. I purchased it in translucent because I am nearly the same shade as the pale beige eggshell wall behind me. So there's that. I also got their pressed powder because I wanted to try it all. I love a good pressed powder, and I've always really liked, like when they redid these, took everything out of the cardboard packaging and they put it in this with it has a mirror on the bottom. This here is Fair. This is their sheer pressed powder, and I'm excited to try that. And I do have somewhere around here, maybe I can't find it right now. This is my original no filter concealer. I purchased this before they expanded the shade range. So my initial color here was Fair Neutral 10. Now I got one shade lighter because this always seemed to, you put it on and then once it sets, it's just a hair darker. I don't know that it's truly oxidizing, but whatever it's doing, I don't like that it dries a shade darker. So I got a shade lighter. This is the new one here. As I drop this one. This is in light 10, so this must be light 12. All right, so we're just gonna go in. I have been using and really liking, I got this the other day. This is the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. I've been using this mainly on like my pores right in here and across my nose. Because at 43, well, texture is a real deal to deal with. Oh, all right, so there we go. And I love how anytime I touch my face, it gets red. That's my favorite thing about being this pale. The sun does it, my hands do it. Ooh, it's very liquidy. That's 3 pumps. I probably don't need that, but we'll start and see. All right, here we go. So this is supposed to be a full coverage foundation. I'm sure it's more like full, medium to full, probably buildable. I tend not to like, the older I get, I'm less of a full coverage person just because I want my skin as much as possible to look like skin. And that to me is something that is really important. And I also find that full coverage tends to really not always look beautiful on my skin because of the textural issues that I have. It is what it is. All right, so this side of my face is done here. And I'm just gonna get a little closer so you can see. Foundation, no foundation. Foundation, no foundation. All right, I'm gonna keep going. I'm going to try not to cover up everything here. I've always been one of those people, well, my history with foundation is really only about, I don't know, 12 or 13 years old. I never wore foundation. I used to wear like a full face of makeup, with the exception of foundation. I was a concealer and powder kind of gal, and I started out with loose powders, And I used to give a, you know, pretty heavy dusting. I didn't start wearing makeup until I was 14. So almost 30 years of makeup. But the one thing I'll tell you is, me in foundation, I don't have as much experience as a few other people. I'm going to use just a hair more because I feel like I have a couple of places I'd like to touch up. And with a brand new clean beauty blender, I wonder if it's sucking up a lot of this. Just a little bit here on this hyperpigmentation spot, a little bit over the top of the nose. Anyway, so I started wearing foundation after I started seeing some hyperpigmentation, after I started seeing some more active redness when my skin wasn't quite so perfect, after I crossed the 30-year mark. So for the last, I don't know, 12, 13 years, I don't wear foundation every day because I still love the look of real skin. And there are some really great foundations out there that do give you that look of skin. Wow, this makes a big difference. All right, so this is full face. I think it's a pretty good match, if I do say so myself. And that's the one thing I'm always a little bit like, Colourpop, what? They have no return policy. You know, you get what you get, and it's not expensive. But if I had to buy like 4 of these at $12 a pop till I found my perfect shade, it would be just as expensive as picking up a Lancome or a Laura Mercier. Maybe even a little bit more expensive because some of those are more in the $40 range, $42 range, and this would be more expensive if you had to go through several bottles. But thankfully, enough people had done swatches. I was like, okay, we know where we're going. So now I'm going to go in with this. This is in Light 10. This is more of a yellow-based concealer, and I try not to use too much, but as you can see, I have some serious dark under eyes. So I'm just going to dot a little bit of this here. I also always have like a dark spot back over here. I like to put a little bit where I get red around the corners of my nose and corners of my mouth. I don't know, where do you highlight? Or I guess not highlight, more like conceal. Now this up here is not concealing, that's just like I need a little more brightness to my face there. All right. I can't tell you how much of a fan I've been of Colourpop since I bought my first Super Shock shadow, 4 years ago. It was right after they, I don't know, maybe like the summer after they launched. They launched in May. It might have been late summer, early winter, early fall, I should say. And I just have always really appreciated how good they are at making sure, I'm going to pat this out with my finger just to distribute it a little bit better before my beauty blender eats it all up, how good they are at making quality products at such an affordable price. I live for that. And I've always been one, and I hate to admit it, I tend to be more of a high-end, I kind of go for the high-end stuff more often. I love some Hourglass stuff. One of my favorite foundations is Lancome, and it's like, what, $46? 42, 46, somewhere in there. And I love it. But if I can find quality products at a less expensive price, I mean, don't we all want that? And for me, everybody has upped their packaging game recently. You know, Colourpop has definitely done it. And then there has also been a lot of other drugstore brands that are definitely hitting the up button when it comes to packaging. I just really feel like, you know, now it's not always that difference between luxe packaging and bargain packaging. There's either good packaging or bad packaging, because sometimes you get not so beautiful packaging from some expensive companies as well. All right, here we go. Now, if I were to fully like cake under eye concealer here, I could probably completely get rid of my dark circles. I tend not to do that because I find that it actually ages me. So I live with a little under eye darkness just because it's better to do that than it is to look like 1,000 years old when everything sits down there. Okay, so I'm just took the little guy off of this. This is a really small little sifter. There's 9 holes. And the lid is minuscule. I mean, it's smaller than this, and this is a primer. Boy, look at this. It's the same size as their Super Shock highlighter. This one here is in Stole the Show, but I mean, the pan size is exactly the same. Look at that. So you're getting a very small product. $9. I don't think the price is bad, but just so you know, if you're one of those who likes to dip your beauty blender in here, beauty blender, I mean, it doesn't even, it barely fits. Just so you know, this is a small container. All right, so I'm gonna tap some of this out here in the lid. That's probably too much. So this here is our translucent setting powder. I'm gonna put a little bit here. All right, I always tap to make sure I don't have any creasing. And then I go in. All right, other side. I'm gonna tap to make sure I don't have any. And I'm just gonna pop this on. I like to powder with loose powder places where I tend to get really oily. And I'm one of those people that, yeah, by the end of the day, I tend to get oily, like corners of my nose, top of my nose, middle of my forehead, and then right here underneath my lip. So that's where I'm probably gonna very heavily powder. And then we'll see how we do with the rest here. All right. Well, I can definitely see the powder. I definitely feel like it. There are some powders that I use that I feel don't hang out and emphasize the light wrinkles / crepiness under my eyes. This one I definitely feel like it's not bad. There are others that are worse, but this one, it accentuates it more than I would like it to be accentuated just by looking at it. But it's not bad. All right, so from there, I'm gonna open up the No Filter pressed powder, and I'm going to just put this all over the rest of my face. And I'll just use the mirror in here, but I always like taking these things off, and I hate then that I forget where I leave them and they end up on the floor in my bathroom. So this was a totally clean brush. Not anymore. All right. This, by the way, isn't fair. This is my Wayne Goss, the 00 brush, which is ridiculously soft. The problem that I find with this is that even though it's very, very, very soft, I find that it really kind of digs into the powder, as you can see here, how it just kind of, I find that I have other brushes. I have an IT brush, an IT Cosmetics brush that doesn't gouge as much, and it could be the fact that it's, you know, kind of tapered to a point here, but anyway, I like how it feels on my face though. That's why I just continue to use this brush. Alrighty, so there we are. Foundation, primer, primer, foundation, concealer, loose and pressed powder from the No Filter line from Colourpop. All right, so I'm gonna finish up my face. I'll be back. Hi, so I'm back in for a check-in, and I officially finished my makeup, well, putting on my base, I should say, at about 4:45, and it's currently 7:09. So this is what I'm dealing with right now. I have noticed, I'm gonna scooch in a little closer here. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a little bit of collection right in through here and right in through my smile lines. I have just a little bit of stuff collecting. The one thing I will say, even though it's later in the evening where I am right now, it's really hot. When I left the house right after about, I don't know, maybe 5:30, it was still like 95 degrees outside. So I've been outside in the heat, been going to dinner with my kids, kind of just getting stuff done around the house. And so I have been moving, I have been perspiring just a smidge, and I find that here in the corners of my nose, like right in here, don't know if you can see that. That's where I have foundation and powder kind of collecting, and a little bit right in here. I wonder if maybe we could just zoom in a little bit and you can see it better. Like right there. And I think you could see it a little bit more settling into my forehead area here. And then right in through here. It's not bad. I'm not going to say that it's, back out a little bit here. So I'm not going to by any means say that it's really bad. I feel like for the fact that it's been 95 degrees and I've been perspiring, and I haven't found a single foundation yet that doesn't collect in these areas here, right in through here. But it's basically been like, I don't know, like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Maybe two and a half hours since I finished putting my base on. I'm going to be up for quite a while yet, so I'll show you what my face looks like just before going to bed for the evening. But I thought I'd just do a quick check-in and show you what it looks like. Well, here's the last check-in for today. It is, what time is it? It's 12:09. So it's been a little bit more than 7 hours. Started at 4:45 in the afternoon. And it's time for me to wash my face and get to bed, or I'm not going to make it tomorrow. But I just wanted to give you my final thoughts. Let me pull you in a little closer so you can see what we look like. All right, so I did get a little bit of collection here in the corners of my nose on both sides. I don't know if you can see that. And also in through here, I feel like you could, because my skin tends to be oily right in this section, I do feel like my texture is a little bit more noticeable and some of that oil is shining through. But I think the rest of my skin, you know, I do have a lot of lines on my forehead, but I really feel like overall, with the exception of like this section right here, it held up really, really well. I'm gonna back you out a little bit. There we go. So here's what I'll tell you. I don't have a single foundation, not a one, that actually goes all day long without any touch-up and looks perfect. I mean, if you have one, would you recommend it? I would love to know. But I'm dealing with combination skin. The last time a foundation sat really well, I was in my early 30s, and my skin was still more normal, I would say. I would occasionally get a little bit of oil kind of in the corners of my nose, but it was almost nothing at all to speak of. And I have skincare that tries to address some of that oil, but I find that, you know, in the end, a lot of it is taken care of by powders. And overall, I see that, like right here, you can see a little bit more of some redness coming through. That's some leftover hyperpigmentation from a really massive piece of cystic acne in February. That was months ago. And texture is a little bit more visible, and you do see some shine on the nose. But the rest of the face, wow, I feel it looks really good. And on a normal day, I blot, I repowder. You know, I kind of, there have been times that I'll take my beauty blender with me and just kind of press it into the corners of my nose, go all over like this, and it kind of helps to take care of, you know, some of those small problems. Let's see if that helped it. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. And that really wasn't doing much. But my point is, you know, I don't ever go 7+ hours without at least looking in a mirror and touching up. I always carry something. I have a small brush in my purse, I have powder products, I have concealer, you know, just to make sure that everything's where it needs to be by the end of the day. But overall, I thought these products did really, really well. Now, this is a $12 foundation. Glass packaging with a pump, which is fantastic. And I mean, and how cute is it with the stars? It looks really fantastic. The one thing you do want to keep in mind is you're not getting a full ounce. $12 is a very reasonable price for a good foundation, but this is 0.85 fluid ounces. So you're not getting that full ounce, you're getting, you know, 85%. But I don't know how often you go through foundations. I don't go through them that quickly. I really, I have way too many, but I really do feel like this is definitely worth the price. I've always been a fan of the No Filter Concealer. This at $6, I think is definitely one of the better budget concealers that there is out there. And I love that they have such a wide range. By the way, 42 shades for this. 42 shades. And it goes from the fairest of the fair down to really, really deep dark, which is everything that we need in cosmetics today. We need that full range. We need to be inclusive, and I love that they paid attention to that. And they didn't launch, you know, a partial shade range. They didn't do your 8 or 12 or 15 shades. They did 42. Now this here, I like that you can actually see it in the bottom here, but I wish, if anything, I would change the packaging for this. I would make this wider. The problem I have, I mean, even if you look at the pan here for this pan here is larger than this. It's easy to get a brush in this. If this was just another, I don't know, maybe half an inch like in diameter larger than it is, I mean, it'd be better if it was like, you know, at least a third bigger than it is now. But I find that it's a little small packaging wise. And for product here, you're getting 8.5 grams. This here is also, oh no, this is 5.5. But it's easy to get a brush in this. I mean, my brush, and this is a fairly large brush. This is the Wayne Goss. It goes in here really easily. This one here, I'm not able to, I don't want to get this everywhere, but it's, I only feel like, I don't feel like I can get my whole brush in there. The other thing is, be warned, if you're not careful, those little 9 holes that you have, they open up and they let it out. All right, so this was $9. This was $9. For all 4 pieces, foundation, concealer, loose setting powder, pressed powder, it was $36. $36. I am usually paying upwards of $40 for just foundation. You can pay $20 to $30 for one concealer. And we're talking pressed powders. I just bought the new Hourglass powder, and that was what, $48? Was it between 46 and 52? Somewhere in there. So when you think about it, these prices are amazing. And I think these are phenomenal products. Next time I use these, of course, this is just my first impression. I will touch up during the day, and you know, if I change my opinion, I'll definitely let you know. But you know, for using it for the first time for 7+ hours, I think it did really well. Very, very, very impressed. It's definitely something I would recommend if you're interested. You'll find your shade. I don't think that'll be hard to do. The one thing I will say is that I've seen a lot of the foundations. I don't find that there are very many neutral. There are some that really lean yellow and some that lean more pinky peach, but there aren't that many that are just kind of like a straight neutral. But I think out of all of them, this is my favorite product. I like this better than anything right now. So this is definitely something, I might need to get another one, carry one in my purse, leave it on my vanity, so I always have something with me. But yeah, that's what I think. I think it's really great. I love that it's as inclusive as it is, and I love that it's as easy on your wallet as it is. That to me is so important. And I love luxury products, and I don't mind paying the extra, but if I can get something that is really, really, really good and not have to pay through the nose, I'm here for it. I definitely am. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked this overview. Let me know what your thoughts are. Have you tried any of these new products from Colourpop? Have you tried the new powders? Have you tried the new foundation? Do you have thoughts on the expanded shade range for the concealer? Let me know down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye.